Luka Doncic is one of the greatest offensive threats we've ever seen in the NBA. He's a walking triple-double, and at the ripe age of 25, he's already cemented himself in the record books alongside some of the greatest players in NBA history. Honestly, he reminds me of a prime James Harden back when he was on the Rockets, an offensive mastermind that demanded the entire opposing team's attention. On the other side of the ball, though, is where the holes in his game are on full display. If he's not arguing with the ref while the opposing team has already started the fast break, he's arguing with his teammates mid-play on defense about blown coverages that he is causing. Luka is young and he has time to mature and correct these types of mistakes, but if his mentality doesn't improve, this could be the factor that holds him back from evolving to that next level. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth NBA content. If I had to come up with an archetype for Luka Doncic, I would say he's a playmaking ISO creator. He also reminds me of a guard version of Jokic because of how he's able to dictate the pace of the game on the offensive end. Luka is patient on offense and allows the game to flow around him. He's a nightmare to guard in the ISO with his shifty handles, his solid upper frame, and a patented step back jumper that can get off over the best defenders. Just peep how comfortable and unbothered Luka is on this possession. Even when it gets to 9 seconds, he's still just as calm and looking to get to his spot. He sizes up Harden and gives him a little taste of his own medicine with a smooth step back three. Not to mention he talks a little shit after cooking you. You just gotta love it. If you ever ran 2K with me, you know my go-to move used to be the crab dribble before they took it out of the game. It's a move that keeps the defender on your back while you maintain a low dribble stance. Luka utilizes this in order to stay in full control of his defender, to then create space for a step back jumper from the free throw line. This wouldn't be a Luka Doncic video without showcasing the series that ultimately made him a daddy to the Phoenix Suns. I feel so sorry for Cam Johnson after the three-piece special that Luka Magic just serves him up. First, Luka just takes his time in the post and hits a calm fade right over the defender. This man then proceeds to hit a between-the-leg spin move into a signature step-back jumper. Honestly, how did the Suns even allow the game to get this bad at the halftime? He completes the meal with a between-the-leg snatchback that sends Johnson back to the bench as he raises up and drains the three. In all these clips, Luka is slowing the game down to his pace. He then picks you apart with methodical change of direction dribble moves and uses his overbearing strength to keep you off balance and guessing. With a playstyle that demands so much attention from the defense, it then allows him to set up shooters like Irvin, Thompson, or Washington. Even though Luka averaged 35 points per game, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds while shooting 49% from the field, he didn't win the MVP award. He actually came in third place in the voting. Crazy, right? With a season like that, you would think the MVP would have fallen into his lap. There is one important factor, however, that I believe is holding Luka back from evolving into an MVP level player.
Well, I had a little talk with myself, it was just a real talk. I was like, it was unacceptable no more the way I was acting, maybe it's some of my, personal issues or everything, but I had talk with myself and I just said, this can't keep going, it's a really bad look. I knew I was doing this, but I kept going it. So, it's over, man. It's over now. I had to talk with myself. No more, man.
A lack of emotional intelligence and effort on the defensive end are the two biggest issues with his game. That clip was from 2 years ago, and he still seems to be struggling with the same issues. Sometimes I become so frustrated watching Luka cry to the refs or complain to his teammates that I forget just how brilliant of a basketball player he truly is. A large part of the game is purely mental, and it's almost like playing chess out there on the court. You must be very perceptive and put yourself in positions that allow you to deny the opponent's next move. Sometimes, it just seems like Luka is lost out there, or his head just seems not to be in it. Luka takes the ball the length of the court to attempt a quick layup to add more points to their lead going into the half. He misses the layup after facing minor contact from the defender, but there is no foul in the play. Though his teammates are backing him up and arguing for a call, Luka continues to yell at the ref, which leads to him getting a tech. I understand his frustration because he was fouled, but if there's no call, just move on. Yelling at the ref isn't going to change the call anyway. Here, Luka receives the handoff from his teammate and immediately throws up a shot as soon as the defender makes contact with his arm. The ref said the foul occurred on the floor before Luka was in a shooting motion. Luka instantly starts complaining to the refs and says something wild enough for him to give them a tech. At this point in the game, frustrations were clearly running high as the Mavs were down 20 plus points, but that is still no excuse to not have your emotions in check. There was still enough time in this game to cut the lead down and maybe stage a miracle comeback, but instead the mood turned sour after Luka was hit with the tech. The biggest moment in Luka's career so far, his first NBA Finals appearance. The Mavs are down 0-2 in the series so far, and they're trying to finish out a close game, so emotions are naturally running high. The Celtics push the ball up the court while the defense isn't set, and Brown catches Luka off balance and draws a blocking foul on the drive. Luka immediately sits up to complain about the call, then looks over to his bench and demands them to challenge it. It's clear as day that Luka committed a blocking foul, but the Mavs became desperate and challenged it anyway. No surprise they lost the challenge, which means they also lost a timeout and their star player since it was Luka's sixth foul. Just another case of emotions getting the best of him at a crucial moment. This is no doubt the most important possession of the entire game. Klay just hit a big three to tie the game, and a stop right here is crucial. Let's see how the best player on the floor for the Mavs reacts to this situation. Clarkson brings the ball up and scans the floor while their offense is setting up. He notices that Luka has planted himself near the free throw line and into the passing lane of Collins. I'm not sure why Luka is so focused on the perimeter when his teammate is already in position to guard there, and in the process, he loses Collins on the backdoor cut and gives up an easy layup in the clutch. His teammates all become visibly angry and are probably wondering the same thing we all are. What the hell were you looking at, Luka? Looking back at the finals, I noticed Luka seemed to just look lazy out there sometimes on defense. Here, Luka's defending Brown as if he's left-handed for some reason, by shading his defense to his non-dominant hand, and Brown seemed to just drive right past him. This then collapsed the defense, which leads to a kick out to Holiday, and one more pass to Tatum knocked down a wide open three. Luka is trying to dribble away from the double team, but ends up getting the ball stripped from him. You'd think he'd be pissed off and would try to get a block or cause a turnover on a break, but instead he just looks ahead as the Celtics score on a 2-on-1 fast break. After a made basket, Luka does a great job of hustling back up the court. Too bad he completely loses track of Holiday and gives up an easy layup. After the turnover, Brown rushes up the court to start the break. Luka is caught off balance and Brown drives right past him for the dunk. Luka tries to anticipate where Tatum is going, but he ends up overplaying the crossover. This leads to an open lane to the hoop for Tatum and he gets the and-one finish. Brown hits a nice counter spin move after Luka beats him to the spot, which opens up the driving lane to collapse to D. Luka is caught again flat-footed in dead space and not in a position to rotate over and defend, which allows Holiday to knock down the three. Luka must have been feeling generous this play. He just throws the ball to the Celtics so that they can get an easy dunk since they're playing so well this series. Luka gets the ball stripped from him again and immediately cries to the ref instead of hustling up the court. I honestly feel bad for any refs that got to deal with this all season. Luka seems to stop and admire Holiday's shooting form on this play because he doesn't even attempt to close out on him as he knocks down the three. Luka misses the three and gets up as if he thought a foul was called. He loses track of Tatum completely and the Celtics score easily as the quarter comes to an end. Luka gets caught staring at Rihanna courtside and Brown slips right past him for an easy score. Luka becomes discouraged after the missed shot and decides to jog back on defense. He must have been pointing at Mark Cuban to guard Tatum because no one was down there to help and the Celtics score on the fast break dunk. Off the pick and roll, Luka forgets that he's the help and allows Brown to get open for an easy dunk. Okay, so Luka Doncic is clearly a top 10 player in the NBA for sure and could potentially break records on any given night on offense. On the other side of the ball though, there's a lot to be desired, but at least he isn't a complete liability. Luka has the physical capabilities to be a good defender, but I believe it's the mental aspect of defense where he's lacking. Court awareness, communication, and play perception are all important intangibles that top defenders possess to pair with their physical gifts. I love watching Luka ball out, and I would love to see him take the defensive end of the floor a little bit more seriously. And please, Luka, please stop complaining to the refs after almost every play. Your teammates need your hustle and presence on the other end of the court.